Hello and welcome to this ET Now special. Today we are coming to you from Washington DC, right outside the IMF headquarters, and I have a very special guest with me, the new chairman of the State Bank of India, Mr. Rajnish Kumar. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
My first question to you, in your first few days, you've come to Washington, D.C., you're at the mega IMF World Bank annual meeting, you're now the chairperson of the State Bank of India. What is the big agenda?
The big agenda here, I attended the plenary session, and the topics are on inclusive banking, financial inclusion, social sector spend, income inequalities, refugee crisis. So agenda is very big, and climate change, of course, which is the hottest topic today around the world. So many things, but one thing which is heartening to note is that the economic outlook for the world economies is very positive, and it is the world economies are expected to grow at 3.75%, which is very positive.
And the IMF has said India is going to be the fastest growing economy in 2018.
Yes, very much, and I think all the enablers are very much in the place as far as India is concerned. There was a dip in the economic growth at 5.7%, but I think going forward and as we move into the busy season from October, things should be looking up. The export numbers which came out yesterday were very encouraging. The inflation outlook, again very encouraging numbers. So that way I think I am a bit optimistic about the economic growth in India going back to where we want it to be.
Then sir, tell me, with this bright economic outlook, at least for 2018, and we bounce back from 5.7%, do you think it's going to be matched by higher credit offtake?
It should be, because ultimately there has to be a linkage between the GDP growth and the credit outlook. On the consumption side, the story still is going very good. If you look even at the car sales number in September and even in October so far, the numbers are very good. LCV sales, they are very good. So these are some of the pointers.
But have your loan disbursements, for example, gone up?
For the retail, yes. When it comes to the percentage growth, it looks bit lower, but we have to also see it from the point of view that the State Bank of India in the post-merger scenario, our balance sheet size has grown up, right?
Yes.
And when it has grown, then in terms of percentages, maybe slightly lower, but still the retail story seems to be intact. On the corporate credit side, yes, still we have to see any big growth as far as corporate credit is concerned. And for that to happen, the demand side, that also has to look up. And as far as NPA resolution is concerned, so that is one area which is impacting the credit growth as far as the public sector banks are concerned, though it has not impacted the State Bank of India as much. We are looking out for all good investment and credit proposals where we can lend the money. But the pipeline still is not as robust as we would like it to be.
So you as the new chairman of SBI, what is going to be your agenda to perhaps increase that by?
So basically,
or are you even looking at that, or that's not the focus area, and maybe first, it's asset resolution?
No, it is both parallelly. It is the credit growth as well as the asset resolution. We have to grow as far as credit is concerned. And there are certain factors which we have to address internally. Say, for example, the organizational structure. So already we are working on it, and already action has been initiated. It was work in progress, and now maybe within a month's time, we will have a revised organizational structure which can take care of the better risk assessment as well as not to miss on the good business opportunities. You would have seen that already one managing director has been made responsible for stressed asset resolution, so that the other managing director can focus on the credit growth, and the global markets have been integrated. Because today large corporates, their needs are very varied. They do rupee borrowing, they do CDs, CPs, they do external commercial borrowing. So we want to have an integrated desk where their all requirements can be met. So this is the one major change which has been already effected, and I am waiting for the appointment of a new managing director. So as soon as he gets appointed, he or she can take charge of this stressed asset resolution group. And there are opportunities there, and the State Bank of India, in my view, will be very well placed to lead the stressed asset resolution, and wherever if we can consolidate some of the debt, we would try to do that.
We have seen what we call the dirty dozen, the list that came out by the RBI, for which we've seen the action being prompted under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Do you think things have moved as fast as they should have?
First of all, I don't agree with the description. That I have said earlier also in the media, that using dirty dozen is not the right word. In businesses, difficulties come, failures happen, and they come out. So many of the promoters, not everybody, but many of the promoters I personally know, and they have put in hard work to make these units. They were one point of time blue chips, and every bank was queuing up to give them finance. So a business failure should not be associated necessarily with evil. In any capitalist society, business failures will happen, and insolvency and bankruptcy code, which has been adopted now in India, I consider it to be one of the most significant reforms which this government has done. There is a forum now, NCLT forum, where resolutions will happen. If somebody cannot revive or survive, then liquidation is the way out. So you have to clean up. The system should not be clogged.
But and are you seeing cooperation from the promoters? Like we all saw, for example, what happened with SR Steel, and it hasn't moved forward since then.
No, there were initially, yes, they did try where they felt that they needed to go to the court. But now I think there is a greater realization amongst the promoters themselves that there is no other way.
Okay.
So either we resolve outside the NCLT framework. The advantage with the NCLT framework is that it has the legal sanctity. It is a time-bound project. It is transparent. So why should anybody object to it? From bank's perspective, yes, when the case goes to NCLT, immediately your provisioning requirement goes up, and the resolution outside NCLT would still be a preferable option for the banks. So wherever we can resolve outside the NCLT mechanism, we will do that. And where we believe that it is not working or it is not happening, that in that case NCLT remains the forum. And
but there are challenges. Like for example, we don't have enough insolvency resolution professionals. For example, are they equipped? And, do they have the bandwidth to take over the board suddenly of these companies which are worth thousands and thousands of crores?
No, I agree that the infrastructure and the ecosystem around the insolvency and bankruptcy code, that infrastructure has to evolve. And it is just the beginning. It is just 6 months in execution. So we have to give time for the ecosystem to develop. These type of things don't develop in a day or two. And but what is the way forward other than this? There is no way forward. So we have to strengthen the system. We have to have faith in the system.
But so like if you look at a case like Jaypee, for example, where you have thousands of third-party rights. Yes, the code has been now amended to take care of people like home buyers, for example. But would you say that's an acid test, and things haven't been moving the way they should have been? You have thousands of people worried that
I would say you are being a bit impatient. Let us be more patient.
Okay.
And all these issues will crop up. But as they crop up, there will be interpretation by the judiciary, by the courts, and the law will also evolve. You mentioned Jaypee Associates, yes, very much the people who have put in their hard-earned money. So we cannot say that they have no rights, because any home which they have bought and provided the finance, to that extent, it is a case of double financing if the project lender have not recovered their money and put in their account.
Yeah.
So there is, I'm not prejudging the issue, but there is a very, very valid case for protecting the interest of the home buyers. Yeah. They are, in my view, are a pari passu lender to the project. Yeah. So they should have equal rights. In my view, they cannot have precedence over the project lenders, and the other way also project lenders cannot have precedence.
So they should have equal rights?
So they should have equal rights. This is my personal view. But let us see what the judiciary does.
Is that the way it's moving along as well?
It seems so. It seems so. And if there are some losses on account of the project being incomplete and it need to be funded, so there also probably some loss will come on the home buyers also. So nobody also. Yeah.
So banks also
has if there is some some loss and there is a decline in the value, then banks or the project lenders will have to bear some loss, and the home loan buyers will also may have to incur some loss. But as I said, that matter is sub judice. Let us wait for the judicial pronouncements and let us see how this issue gets addressed.
So, you had also decided at SBI, rather the bank had decided that they want to be in the business of asset reconstruction. How are things moving along in there?
There are asset reconstruction companies very much there, but they have the problem of capital and the resolution by ARCs. So far, I would say the experience has not been as good as it should have been, whatever are the reasons.
But SBI also wanted to get into that, right?
Not really, but
if
there are,
MOU?
but if there are any good opportunities, we are
So
open
is
to
that
the
MOU
idea.
dead now?
Pardon?
Is that MOU dead?
MOU with the Brookfield?
Yes.
No, that continues. That is not dead, but again the progress
But
there.
it hasn't it hasn't culminated
into this thing. So we will review it.
It's
and
over a
see.
year.
Yeah, I know. So I didn't get a chance to review it because it is just 4 days in office.
Yes.
But that is something which is on the top of my agenda. And for stress resolution, whatever needs to be done, as I said, that within the bank, whatever reorganization needs to be done, any policy measures if they need to be taken. So we will have a look at how we are handling the issues and what refinements or improvements are required as far as the policy framework is concerned, and all those things will be done in a very short
We're also
time.
talking before Diwali, which is of course a big season for consumption. Have you seen that trend at least in the disbursement period?
No, this is what the season is picking up. So let us wait for another, say, 10 days, and then probably I will be able to give you a better idea how have we performed. But we have placed big bet on the festival season as we do every season, and we are expecting on the retail front at least that our growth numbers as far as the consumer finance is concerned, your housing finance is concerned, the numbers should be good. And I don't know whether you are aware or not, we have initiated a massive
SME?
program, SME, as well as the Home Loan Connect program, where we are contacting our valued clients as far as home loan is concerned. Because generally the story around home loans is that once you have disbursed the loan, and after that the person continues to pay the EMI, and then the connect is not that as deep as it is with, say, current account or a savings account holder, where the transactions happen on a very regular basis. So that program has been very well received in the market and should help us in growing our business further. SME,
As
we
you
have
convince people to buy a second home?
second home is, our focus is always on the first time home buyers, and 90% of
through this connect.
through this connect, yes, we are getting a lot of business leads, second home or their SME business or their friends business. So that way, like, the response has been phenomenal. And as far as SME is concerned, in last 2 years, we have completely revamped our strategy. We have put more feet on the street. We have put more relationship managers. We have come out new methods of lending. And the latest one from SBI is SME Assist, where we have come out very simple product around the GST. So if the working capital requirement of any enterprise has gone up on account of GST refund or their input credit if they are stuck. So it's a very simplified process, and we are giving the ad hoc facility for 6 months, and then it can be repaid after 6 months. The appraisal is very simple, documentation is very simple, and I am very sure that our SME clients in India, they will be hugely benefited with this product.
Mr. Kumar, tell me, this is your first TV interview since taking over as the chairman. What is your vision? What is it that, your top 3 priorities at SBI?
So basically what we want to make SBI is a new age bank for new age India. There are a lot of changes which are happening in the Indian economy and the worldwide. And these changes are on account of the adoption of technology and digitization. If you look at the supply chain, traditional supply chains, they are being disrupted. Today, for example, Ola or Uber, they don't own even a single vehicle, but they are still the largest provider of transport services. So this is a new business, or Amazon or likes of Flipkart. So our business model has to be such that the entire ecosystems which are developing around healthcare or around transport or around retailing, So bank has to have the capability, resilience, new products, new technology platform to meet and be part of those ecosystems. So how ready we are, or how quickly can we be ready? And we have already made the beginning. Say we have tie-ups with Flipkart, we will be having a tie-up soon with Amazon, where we will be financing their vendors. It is an online process, the sanctions are quick. Within a few minutes, they are driven by the analytics. I think the way banking business happens in the country, that is undergoing a change. Similarly, for our consumers, very shortly you will see a new platform, omni-channel platform, which is very, very exciting. And with one application, you will be doing all your banking requirements, maybe accepting drawing the cash and depositing the cash. You can't deposit cash in your mobile.
When are you launching this?
Maybe in another 21 days. Extensive testing is going on, and once we are sure that the performance standards what we want are achieved, we will launch it for the public.
Is it like the Kotak 811, like what they had?
It will be much better than whatever you are seeing in the market.
Okay, so and this will be pan-India or what?
It will be pan-India. It will be an omni-channel experience.
So who are you partnering with for this?
It is McKinsey's are our consultant, and IBM is the development partner. This is a program which we initiated last year, so almost a year has passed, and it is a 2-year program. So what will come out in the first phase will be around liability products and the transaction banking payment system, and I'm sure you will love it.
So I want to also just get a quick word from you as far as the state of the public sector banks go. In fact, the Finance Minister Arun Jaypee has been speaking about it in New York, in Boston, and even yesterday at the IMF, how there is a need to strengthen the public sector banks. You are the country's largest bank. What is it that the government needs to do? The RBI says the government must recapitalize the banks. Is that what your
No,
ask
recapitalization is the need of the hour. Whatever RBI says, I think the government also and RBI, they are on the same page in my view. So banks will need to be capitalized because there are losses sitting on the corporate's balance sheet, what we call twin balance sheet problem, as well as that gets reflected in the bank's balance sheet. So recapitalization is one thing, and another is the risk management practices at the bank and the corporate governance. Both will need an improvement.
Okay.
So there also, I think government will have to work very actively with the bank managements. That would mean strengthening of the boards.
How much more do you think is needed? We know what
Quite
has
a
been
bit.
budgeted. We know what has been budgeted.
No, budgeted is the recapitalization part.
Yeah.
What I am talking about is the qualitative aspects.
Yeah.
Okay. Capital is one dimension only.
Yeah.
But if you give
But
the
in fact,
capital
the government also wants to link the recapitalization on merit. If you do something, then only should you get more funds.
I think that would be the right way. That when government decides to keep the capital and is ready with the plan, they need to ask the banks, what is your plan to use this capital wisely? How are you going to ensure that the money which is now being given, that will not be frittered away? What are the risk management practices? What are your corporate governance standards? So these are some of the qualitative aspects. They should be parallelly be looked into. And as far as government's role is concerned, governments also, I'm sure they will do it. And
so, but where's the money going to come from?
There is a plan, and there are precedences. You had recapitalization bonds for the banks in '95, and that was a 20,000 crore program. If you compare it with today, in terms of the time value of money, so even if it is a 100,000 crore program, it will not look much. So the recapitalization bond is one way, and whatever budgetary support government can give, that will be another way. But that has to be done. It should not be done piecemeal. That's what I have been advocating.
Okay.
That it should come in one go. It should come with a business plan for all the banks. What will be their business strategy going forward? And it may come with the consolidation plan, which also government is talking about. So let us wait and see.
As far as that consolidation plan goes, they've also approved an alternative mechanism. They've said it's up to the companies, the banks themselves to decide. Have you decided on anything, or your predecessor decided on anything?
No, as far as we are concerned, we are already done with it, right? So we have consumed 6 banks. It is no mean achievement. So as far as we are concerned, our part is over. We have shown the way. But as far as other banks are concerned, they will have to discuss in their boards. That is what the government is saying. And it should make sound commercial sense. for any banks to merge, it's not an easy task, because for SBI things were a bit different, because the management teams, there was continuity, management teams were strong. All those banks were, even earlier, they were part of the state bank ecosystem. So I think that does set a precedent and an example. But when we are merging the other banks, the story is going to be slightly different.
So you're not even interested in, let's say, the NBFCs that are on the block?
No.
You're done with inorganic growth?
Inorganic growth for the time being. Going forward, can't rule out anything, but immediately this is not on our agenda.
So you also have SBI Caps, which is of course very, very successful. What is your vision for that?
I would like them to be a top-class investment banker, and they are a fairly old company. They are very well respected in the market, and for project finance they have done exceedingly well. But on the investment banking side, probably they need to do more, and that's what our discussion with their MD and CEO is. They are very well aware of this thing. So I would like it to be the top-class investment banker in the country.
So we are in Washington, D.C. Do you have global aspirations for SBI?
Well, SBI, we have global aspirations, but we have also to admit that we come from a weak currency area, right? Yeah. But the way we have transformed this bank digitally, so today we feel much more confident. We have to decide which country we want to be in. We have a fairly good presence in US, UK, Hong Kong, Singapore, which are a relatively developed market. But what we have found that we have been very successful in some of the geographies which are neighboring countries. So we have been very successful in Nepal. So what about Bangladesh? What about Sri Lanka? What about Mali? So we are having a relook at our international strategy, and we would like to expand for sure, but we have to be mindful of the fact that the regulatory environment across the world is not as conducive as it used to be. So there are challenges on that front, and most of the international banks, they have cut down on their presence. So unless in any market we come out with any USP, what is our USP? What can we offer? What can we offer which others are not offering? So unless that USP is there, so just expansion for the sake of expansion will not happen.
So, this is your first TV interview, something that the retail customers have had to grapple with suddenly of late has been a cut in the saving deposits. Do you think that is the way forward, that they should brace themselves?
No, but when we are talking about the benchmarks and the market benchmarks, so we have to look at the real interest rate. So we don't want to hurt our depositors' franchise. That is very strong for State Bank of India. We value our depositors. They give us our bread, butter, cream, whatever jam, whatever you call it. So there is no way that we would like to hurt our depositors. But at the same time, when the interest rates are going down, inflation is going down, we cannot keep the interest rates high. And savings bank interest rate had not changed since 2011. And we are in 2017. And if you look the inflation then, and if you look the inflation numbers now, so a half percentage basis point cut was very much warranted, and we did it. And I'm happy to say that.
Is it the end, or will there be?
There can never be an end.
No, will there be more alignments?
But the alignments will always be there. So it may go up, it may go down, it will move in tandem with the inflation rates. But savings bank rate of interest is something that we don't change so frequently. That is also there. And I'm happy to say that we have not seen any negative impact of that cut. People's faith in the State Bank of India, it remains as intact as ever. I am still opening 100,000 accounts daily, savings bank. Our deposits are stable. So that way I think people have appreciated the fact that why State Bank has cut the rate of interest. It was inevitable in the given circumstances. But as I again I say that our depositors, we will protect their interest. We will constantly work that how do we improve their customer experience with the bank, right? For that I need money to invest in technology. So these are the imperatives.
I can make it a big focus for you is going to be technology. It's something I read a letter that you wrote to the employees.
Oh, you read it?
Yeah.
How did you get access to that? That was an internal communication.
And I really like the fact that you also told the employees don't forget to smile.
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
Nice. So, but it's very clear you're going to focus on technology. But before I let you go, and I know you're running late, where do you stand and because you brought up inflation, where do you stand as far as this, the government literally demanding a rate cut, the Monetary Policy Committee not obliging with one? Do you think it was a missed opportunity? The Finance Minister says 3.88% inflation during peak monsoon period is nothing to panic about.
Right. So as far as RBI is concerned, they have a specific inflation target in mind, and they have been working towards this. And the numbers which came out yesterday, so they seem to be very encouraging numbers. The inflation numbers which came out. And I think our economic research department also tells me that next 1 year RBI's targeted inflation, it's not going to go over and above that. So let us see in December whether RBI comes out with some.
And in that letter, you also talked about how credit offtake has to go up. Have you given any privately any targets?
In that letter, I did not speak about business or credit.
No. You just said that we are in the business of lending and we have to continue lending. So what I'm saying is that have you given any targets about how much to increase it by?
Basically, like right now, as I said, that credit growth being very muted. So even a 7-8% growth in this year would be a welcome.
And is that what you're looking at?
That is what I am looking at. And you have to look at it, our balance sheet size. Again and again, I'm saying that when domestic book is 16 lakh crore, even a 6 to 8% means 1.5 lakh crore for the bank.
Mr. Kumar, thank you so much for talking
My
to us
pleasure.
on IMF. Thank you so much. And all the best.
Okay, bye.